So welcome to day 15 of our 28 days of connections, and today's practice is humming bee breath. It sounds amazing, doesn't it? And it really is. So obviously up to now we've done a couple of breath exercises, so this again just adds a little bit of variety for something you want to do, but this one's really good for stress, anxiety, and none of them require any particular expertise. They're not difficult. So for today's practice, again, just sit in a nice comfortable position. And as with all of the practices, it's always worth spending time settling in, because that's when you start to actually come into the present moment. You naturally start to probably let some of the tension go that you've kind of had throughout the day, or you know, even if you're doing this first thing in the morning, it's a really good opportunity just to kind of come into your body. So in terms of the breath itself, it's fairly straightforward. It's an inhale, and then as you exhale, you make a humming noise. So until you've exhaled all your air. Oh, excuse me, my dogs have just tried to bash the door down. You coming in? Oh, there's Guinness. Good boy. Here he is. He wanted to take part in humming bee breath. Yes, so it's fairly straightforward. Shh. So it's fairly straightforward. You do an inhale, and then as you exhale, you Stop it, you two. The dogs are fighting in front of me. Play fighting, don't worry. Go on. And you exhale to make sure all the air's gone out, and then you inhale, and you just do that practice. You can add in some slight dimension. So stop it. So I've seen sort of, you can use mudras, which are hand positions, but I'm not going to try and introduce you to anything more complicated than that. But you can also, if you want to, put your fingers in your ears, which kind of intensifies the humming. So you can kind of come into a position where your knees are up, so you're sort of sat with your feet flat on the floor, and you kind of put your head in your hands, and then use your thumbs just to rest gently in your ears like this. And then as you inhale, exhale. So you kind of get the picture, I'm guessing. It's not particularly complicated. And so choose for you whatever you feel is the most comfortable. You can obviously do it sat upright as well, and also put your fingers in your ears. It just intensifies it slightly by putting your fingers in your ears, because obviously you can hear the humming a lot more intensely, so you're very inward. So it's actually probably a little bit more calming, if that's okay. So I'll just take you through a few rounds, and obviously just a few minutes of this practice is just really good for you to do each day. So just coming into a comfortable seated position, and close your eyes, or just cast your gaze down, and just kind of take out that focus on vision if you're casting your gaze down, and almost just stare kind of into nothing. And then just begin by focusing on the points of contact with the ground. So really becoming aware of your place and time and presence on this earth at this moment. It's a really good way to just ground yourself and be present by just focusing on the parts of the body that touch the ground. And as I've said before, it's not always the obvious ones like your bottom that you have to focus on. You can bring attention to maybe the sides of the feet or anywhere, and almost perhaps imagine some like roots anchoring you down. And at the same time, a bit like a tree has roots that branch out and hold it to the ground, those also provide the support upwards. It's like a two-way process, not just an anchoring down, but support upwards. And then just taking some time now, moving your awareness around your body. So maybe starting with your feet and moving up through your legs, through your pelvis and torso, and just noticing any parts of your body that have some degree of volume today, whether that be a loud shout or maybe a very quiet murmur. Just noticing if there's any volume from anywhere, but at the same time also noticing any silence, any places that perhaps seem to almost not be there. You can almost bypass them, but we don't want to. We want to shine a little bit of a spotlight on the silent parts. So moving up through the shoulders, the neck, down the arms, around the head. And you may notice that there's some parts of your body that always have lots to say to you. As I've said before, I often find that my shoulders at the end of the day, if I've done lots of computer work, are very speaking volumes to me, shall we say. Have a lot to say about their day. And so the invitation is just to kind of say hi to them and notice them, but without any harsh judgment on them. And so then turning our attention to our breath, and again just sitting next to it as that observer of how it wants to be at the moment. Again, no judgment on how it's flowing. You may find you naturally deepen it just by putting attention on it, but just see how it wants to be, because it's always there. And then we're now just going to move into our humming bee breath. So as we talked about, hopefully the technique is really not difficult, so just kind of go with it as we flow, but we'll just do a few minutes of it, and you can obviously join in as you see fit. And obviously it's up to you how you want to sit, so you can sit as I am now, or you can take up that position I did earlier with your raised knees, resting your head in your hands, ears, thumbs in the ear. My legs are a bit tired, so I think I might just keep my fingers in my ears today, but sit upright. And so remember, it's just inhaling through the nose, and as you exhale, you hum until you run out of breath, and then you just inhale again. So just join in when you're ready. And take one final inhale. And just breathe out, big sigh. So firstly, Guinness would like to apologise for coming and barking in the middle of that, but he wants his dinner and he's decided it's time. So my apologies. Yes, Guinness, we know. Yes, we know. Anyway, thank you for joining me today on day 15 of our 28 days of connections and joining Guinness. And I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.